Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to the first episode of the Good Card, Bad Card. At this point, it's a mini podcast with Willie B today. He's a full-time co-host at this point because no one else has come on this show, and he's kind enough to always come back. But we're going to talk about the restricted list because it was a list. It was a unique list. Mr. Willie B, would you be kind enough to talk about our first card, please, and what your thoughts on the choice of restrictions is?
The first card is Matt Ishiger from BT3, one of the original memory set Tamers. It is a memory setter, which many of the sets around that time had, and it has on play you may return one Digimon card or one option card from your trash to your hand. What are your thoughts, Gito?
Now, I said in my prediction video that Purple Hybrid can't really be hit in its current deck, as in the new stuff, because it's too new. And I think we both agree that when cards are super fresh, it's really hard to limit them because they're meant to be strong.
Yes.
And I feel like this is...
Just real quick, not myself. It's BT. It's the BT2 map, not BT3.
It's the first purple Tamer.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yep.
And then Kari was the next one in BT4, I think.
Something like that.
So I don't agree with it, but I agree with why they've limited it, or banned it rather, because they've said it's one of those cards that if you find it once, you just recycle it, which is what Purple does. So, kudo. But the issue I have with this is it's like one of the staple Purple memory setters. So it's it's just like when they decided that limiting Ipmon to 1 was the best way to describe that deck. You've basically taken away a archetypal keystone from the colour chart and go, now you can't have it anymore.
Yeah, I'm just quickly trying to find the other purple memory sets, but yeah, it's the most generic purple memory set.
It's generally the one that you pick for a purple deck if there's nothing that could be a memory setter in its place. It's always been very good.
I suppose Start Deck 16, Matt, is not the same. It's not anyway.
I think he's been getting used in other decks because you do trash a little bit from hand, or when a card is just
trash. Yeah,
trash.
you trash from hand with purple a lot.
So
but
it's
yes,
not so bad. But yeah,
I'm okay. I agree mostly with what you said. I understand their reasoning for why they banned it.
I think the reasoning makes the most sense in their eyes to ban it, and I have to agree. Like, yes, once you find it, it's always going to work.
The card is gone purely because of another deck, because it's very good just picking up any Digimon or option. Obviously, I don't think there's any other card that does that currently, where it can do both Digimon and option pickups.
Yeah, it's one of the best cards, especially from a time period where it comes from as well.
Yeah, but it's also the trade-off of it's one of the few memory set Tamers where you don't want to just hard slam it.
Yeah, definitely is, because the amount of times that you've got it in your opening hand, it's like I could redo the memory setter, and Purple suffers for generic purple memory setters, so it's like I'll have to put it down early.
Yeah, so that's one of the trade-offs. I'd have rather one of the core cards was hit instead of the mat.
I just think it's too early. That was any issue really. Just as I said, because it's BT 18, I think it was, and for us that's only been out 6 months. Japan that's only been out 8 months. Japan's not really having as much issues, and we're not really having issues with it. It's just a very consistent deck. I can see why they've just gone, we'll limit something that's
its
old.
mill variant has gotten very strong.
But people have said the other variant is still good. It still works. It's still playable. It's just unfortunately not as good as this one. It's a lot worse in comparison. But I can see in the future maybe we'll get it back to one of, because I don't think it's a forever back. Mega Digimon Fusion is a card that just says I print the game to death, whereas this card just says it's not
annoying. A card that I think needs to be on the ban list, but it does because of the one other deck. I'd like to think in the future, maybe if there's another purple hybrid wave of support, they look at hitting an existing card instead and bring the mat back, because he's not a card that needs to be hit, because even if it can bring back Digimon options, if you're paying 4 for it, you're paying 4 to get a card back. That's a lot to pay. If you use it as an option card that happens to stick around later on, that adds a thing back. Yeah. It's more the deck just playing it out for free over and over that was the issue.
So we both agree with Bandai's ruling, or their reasons for banning it. We both agree that in the future, probably should at least come back to 1, if they are worried about recursion effect, especially in purple. So I agree with it as long as it gets reversed at some point in the future, down the line.
Yes.
So for the current climate, I agree with this ban. The second ban is a banned pairing.
Yes, they have banned the EX2 Mother D Reaper and the EX7 Shoto.
Who would have thought that would happen after everyone's been asking for it for, I think in Japan now, like 9 months, 10 months?
I have no idea on people asking for it for, but yeah, it's a pairing a lot of people are asking for. I personally am not infused by it. I would rather that they had banned or hit the Shoto in some way, because it's not just the the pairing itself is obnoxious because you can't interact with mothers until you get bigger than them. But Shoto giving blocker to anything, this is just an inevitable problem that's going to happen again. Like it's kicking the can down the road, but doesn't solve the main issue that card causes. It's blocker restriction. It needed a restriction on what it could give blocker as well. It needed to be a liberated Digimon or needed to be a vortex. I can't remember what trait
Vortex
the
Warrior.
Shoto.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
agree on. I think like the Shoto itself needs to be reworded, so give it to a Liberator or a Vortex, which means that you are playing it sort of in its own ecosystem, which I'd be fine
yeah.
with. Um, as of now, there's not really any other Digimon that kind of abuse the whole. For a cost of free, you
Uh,
have a giant Digimon that has blocker. You have to pay for a Digimon and then give it blocker. So for most
I
decks, you are
mean,
paying like 10 plus memory to
th-
do this.
there are some decks that have slotted it in. Seven Demon Lords slotted it in because they just play their Digimon. They all have blocker now, and it's playing a level 6 every single turn. So
Yeah,
most decks struggle to easily get through it.
they do, but with that deck as well, it's a slow deck. It's a slow grind, and
I
even
mean,
with
true.
even with the blocker, you can easily get past it or kill the thing. Not all the Demon Lords have, when deleted in battle, do a thing. Some of them it's only effects. So that's why it's not so bad for Demon Lords.
It's true, but
And
it
then
is a card that I see being an issue, especially because it has a memory gain effect as well, which is
yeah,
not the hardest to get off.
no,
Like
if you're
if you
playing as a
plan
Digimon,
to
gain a
gain a
memory,
memory.
which to be fair is not
Yeah.
like the worst one. It's not like it's a level. It's not like a free cost memory setter plus
No,
game block. At least it's only like one memory, and obviously
but it
the
also
decks
means if you're against
plays.
multiple Shoto,
I say most decks
it
only
can
play like
be
two of them because it's really hard to fit more than that in. Other than D Reaper, where they can go, yeah, I've got space for four.
yeah. It's not an easy card to just slot into decks, but it is one where any deck is playing a lot of high cost cards, or maybe even just cards that can't be deleted by effects or by battle. I could see it popping up again and again. It is. I think Shoto is more the card that needs to be looked at some point in the game, even if it's not immediately, because it's a card waiting to be powerful, even if it's not currently.
Yeah, again, I think down the line or sooner than later, they need to just errata it to a case of like can only equip to a Liberator or
Possibly. Have they
what
done
Bird,
any errata
Avian, Vortex
effect
Warrior,
changes?
or Liberator. I think those are the four traits you need to have basically to go. Yes, this is how this card affects you.
Yeah, I can't think of any errata they've not done errata to change the effects of cards yet, have they? The only erratas
No,
we've had has been like
just
correcting
wordings. Yeah,
translations.
just like oh, this says the wrong thing by like grammatically incorrect rather than it being like actual like oh shit,
Yeah,
this is the wrong thing.
I'm not against them doing it for certain cards, and this could be one I could see them doing it for.
Nah. So we both agree. So I agree with the band pairing because I know a lot of people just hate a uninterruptible brick wall that you just don't really have a way to deal with quick enough because generally by the time you want to do your big enough monster to fight one of them, there's three on the field.
Yeah, and I agree with the sense that like the combo is something that needs to be looked at. I just disagree in their approach. I think it's more the Shoto card that's a bigger problem overall. It's just Mother happens to be the best card in combination with it.
Yeah,
Although it's
because
worth mentioning, Mother does take up your egg slot if you're going that setup.
I mean it
So
does, but generally you're playing a very weird ace-based Digimon deck where you're just doing a lot of removal and you're never really actually fighting your opponent. And
very true.
that's the issue I've found with like this version of a deck. It's like you never actually fight your opponent. You just basically make it so they can't play the game. Which I feel like Banner has to do something about that because a card game should be interactive. It should be two people playing a game, not one person playing solitaire and one person not doing anything.
Right. Yeah.
But that's just how I feel about security control, and I think that will be the same way I feel about any card game that just says oh, you can't play the game, and I'm not going to play the game.
Yeah, a lot of people have that approach, which is fair enough. I'm here to play a game, not
Yeah, don't
face
waste
the
my
wall
time,
and
God damn
time
it.
climb it.
My time is actually important. I don't know about yours. I'm not here to play 45 minutes of nothing.
Knock the wall over, just push it really hard.
Just fall over. Push off the table. No one saw it coming. So now we go to
Right.
the new restricted cards. Now I think we spoke about this last episode in a little tangent. I know I did a little something about this on the guessing the restriction list video. They got rid of well, Blinding Ray and Jack Raid are now one.
Yes, they will just do the two together, both for
They
very similar
they missed one.
reasons. Red's living it good. They're happy
Red's
at the
just like,
moment.
oh, what about us? It's like, no, no, don't worry about you. It's
Yeah,
these fuckers.
in general, it's become very clear these zero cost unrestricted options. Well, in quotes, unrestricted but not restricted options. Just gaining two memory. It's just too big of a swing for a singular card. Like it's the same for Gravity Crush, even though it wasn't hit. Jack Raid does take some setup, but generally for purple decks, it's not hard to be gaining two memory off it. Hell, sometimes you can get into range of gaining three memory off it, and then Blinding Grey is also just gain two memory. All of them have a cost in the sense. Blinding Grey loses security, except you don't have to lose the security. It's also in some decks just a benefit to lose that security, and then Jack Raids I just mentioned has some setup, but it's not really a setup for purple. Not hit, but should be hit. Gravity Crush also has at end of turn you lose two memory, but all three of them are just used to win in a singular turn. Their trade-offs aren't significant enough to justify that memory use. It would have for them to be viable. It would have to be you can play like one more card this turn and then your turn ends for it to be a valid thing for them to play or to print.
It's a very
Do you agree?
aggressive thought. Not with what you just said at the end there, but I agree with the rest of it. Blinding Ray, I've had an issue with since it came out because it was used basically as a way to turbo out being aggressive with War
Yeah.
Greymon, I believe. I've also done like the fact that it's one of these things in Digimon where you can just do as much as you can. So if you can't trust your security, fuck it, you gain two memory anyway. Which I think which
Yeah.
I've never liked in Digimon being a case of like I don't have to pay the cost if there's nothing to pay,
It
but
depends on the wording.
I've still got the benefit.
Because Blinding Grey, it just says trash your top security, then gain two memory. It doesn't say trash your top security to gain two memory, which is
Yeah,
why it
but
works.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of there's a lot in this card game where it's basically, can you do the first thing? No. Well, you still get the second thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, no, I feel like there should be some, like I think if Blinding Ray was reworded to, if you can't trash a card, you don't gain the memory, then it'd be a case of like, actually, the card's not so bad now because if I've got you down to zero security, and you've got a handful of this, well, you just lose the game. Whereas,
Yeah.
oh, you've got no security, we'll gain 8 memory. That was shit. No, that was not
Yeah.
working for anyone. Jack
Yeah.
Raid is weird because I just wanted to make it fair because obviously Hammer Spark went to one last ban list. So I was like,
Yes.
look, that went down to one. That's been the least egregious of all of the ones since we've had them all. Blinding
Yeah.
Ray
The
has
thing about
generally
Hammer
been the worst one, in my opinion. I feel like it's always the one that's just going to fuck you for no reason. Gravity Crush was probably the second worst one because it always just came out of nowhere and all of a sudden your opponent's gone from 2 memory to 10 memory. It's like, hope you're like getting beaten down for no reason. It's like, I love it every single time. Then I'll say it's Hammer Spark and then I'll say it's Jack Raid because Jack Raid, you have to at least set it up a little bit. Obviously nowadays it's a lot easier to get like to 20 trash, like it's ridiculously quick. But up until probably the last couple of sets, to get to 20 trash was during like turn 5 or 6 or 7, and a lot of games weren't getting that far anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But nowadays, yeah,
Hammer
like
Spark
turn
especially
4,
because
you're
it
on
was the
like
same one.
both nearly decked out.
Yeah, like Hammer Spark definitely was. It was hit at the time because blue was a very dominant color, and
I say I feel like it
blue
was a hit
draws a
for
lot of cards compared to other colors generally.
yeah, I feel like
So
for Hammer Spark it was mostly because of Ancient Kurumon was doing so well competitively in Japan.
yeah,
And I think they were like,
so
no, we've already seen this
yeah,
dance before. We ain't doing this again.
yeah. The other thing we've not really gone over is Jack Raid and Hammer Spark do have the security effect of gain two memory,
Yes, which
which
is like I think a lot of people
yeah,
missed with Jack Raid a lot of the time because it was like, oh, Hammer Spark basically lost me the game because I hit insecurity. Whereas with Jack Raid, to a
it's
degree,
just Jack Raid.
I think with Jack Raid though, because not every single purple deck is about how much trash you can get. I think for a long time it was a case of like, I'll just have one or two of it in my deck,
Yeah,
just in
and I
case.
still think even the decks that use it only use one or two.
Yeah, they
It's
don't use
just
a
they
lot.
can cycle them quite well.
But as I said, like
Oh,
last couple of sets, putting things in trash has become so easy. It's now a case of like, oh, this is in my hand. Give me 2 turns. I'll gain 2 memory.
yeah.
Whereas before it's like this card's dead for like another 2 or 3 turns.
And then the poor green and black ones, which have conditions, so it's like, oh, these are just not playable.
I can't remember what the black and green ones are, to be fair.
I think the green one is when you select an opponent's Digimon and it gets on the leash and lose two memory until the end of their turn.
Oh god, what's that one now?
And then I
Does it also
can't
cost
remember.
1 as well?
It
Junk
costs zero.
Junk Thingy is the black one, and that is when your Digimon dies, you gain 2 memory.
Yeah, the other one was Tropical Venom. It came out a bit later in
That was it.
BT6.
It came out with the black one, yeah. BT6, I think.
So Yeah.
Yeah, I always
So
forget about Trouble Gwen. But yeah, the black one used to see player quite a bit because obviously low to the ground black deck used to go, oh no, I fell into your doom trap. Give me 4 memory. But yeah,
yeah,
in
but those
comparison, they
obviously
weren't as
not
good.
as good because they're not
Yeah,
just a I play this card, I gain the memory.
yeah. Conditional things aren't always as good, but they're more fair at least.
They're more fair.
So I don't think
Maybe,
that.
maybe we'll get some reprints in the colours that just had their limits where
Yeah,
they're more fair in what they do.
yeah. Like blue might be a case of like if you suspend a Digimon, gain 2 memory or something like that.
I could see purple be. No, I was going to say purple could be trash 2 cards to gain 2, but I think that would just be a benefit to purple half the time. Well, I guess it'd be a
If you
negative
trash
3
any
in your
cards this
hand if
turn,
you look
gain
at it like
memory.
that.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. That's my game plan.
I know. It'd be like trash 2 cards to gain 2 memory. You're down 3 cards in your hand, I guess, but with purple, that's not necessarily a downside.
Yeah,
So, I don't know, but yeah, more conditional effects
I
anyway.
think maybe on something's on deletion maybe or something like the black one is.
Yeah, the problem with one deletion is that it's great in the specific decks that can delete themselves. Like that would be pretty damn good in Ghosts, for
It's
example.
great in purple. Oh no, this Jack Red fell out my hand. Sorry, not Jack Red. Calling of Darkness. Oh no,
Yeah,
I blew myself up. Anyway, here's 8 memory.
yeah, but yeah, as it was like 2 memory just on an option card that you play out of nowhere, it's just too big of a swing, even without the supposed downsides that aren't downsides in most cases.
So yeah, I'm like we talked about last time, and then like my own thing. I agree that these probably do need to go to 1. Besides the 2 bad ones, they can stay at 4. No one's playing them. Would you like to talk about the next card, Mister Replay?
The next, which card are we doing next? Because
We're just going to
we're
go in
just
order,
going along
so
our
we're going
list.
from left to
Oh,
right.
Mirage Galgamon then BT11. It's
Should have been
finally
banned.
been hit.
Should have been banned
I
because
wish
now
it was banned.
it's just the extra blue level 6 in every deck now because it can be.
Yep, pretty much. Like every deck, like most decks don't like running don't like just running 4 level 6s. They normally want 5 or 6. Well, normally 5,
Well, now you run
and it just
4.
becomes the best.
You're in your 4 good top end. You run a Mirage Galgamon and you run a Hexa for Tamer Troubles.
I guess yeah, you could do something like that.
That's your
Because
deck
yeah,
now.
it's the same issue that purple has, where a lot of purple decks they just run their best level 4, and then they just slot in Anubismon as the extra one because Anubismon is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, in any deck that doesn't have like a proper top end, yeah, it's just like just put Nubus in.
Yeah.
It works.
So and it's going to be very similar from Marge. It's like, oh, I just get to take a security off you, and then you can't draw by an effects later. I wish it was banned. It was a card that I wanted to be hit for at least the last 6 or 7 months.
And this comes
And
from the guy who was playing it for the last 6 or 7 months as well. So it's not just a case of like I don't like seeing it. He was
I
playing
played it
it.
for like 3 events. I got top 8 in the regional,
That's
and
what I'm
then I
saying.
got
You were
like
playing it. You were doing well with
yeah,
it. So it's not like it's.
I got top 8 in the regional, and then with the exact same deck, I got like 4-4 in 2 different ultimate cups. It was miserable.
Never find a level 4. I know how you feel.
It's true. Like, as far playing that deck was so confusing because it felt amazing when you got the combo, but you bricked so many games it was unreal.
Yeah.
Even though you were drawing through all your deck.
That's why it should be banned really. So you can't like walk yourself into your own text fraud and evasion.
Yeah.
So we had technically in brackets 3 dog-esque Digimon in this restricted list. We also had Fenrir Luger from BT17, which
Yes.
we also mentioned about having something to hit this deck with, and apparently it was the level 6.
Yeah, that's what they went with. Which like it's not an invalid choice to hit.
It's
I
probably
personally was staying on.
it's probably the
Sorry,
easiest one to hit without destroying the deck.
yeah. My issue with it is that like the deck's still functional. It just can't keep turn with its setup anymore, or it can't consistently do it. The problem is it's still in purple, and they can still interact with. As soon as they find the one copy, the deck is back to normal. Is
It
the
is.
issue like it, and because they can repeatedly use it. Yes, it hurts the consistency by a lot. Like it really hurts consistency. They lose their inheritable to keep turn off if they go into the Takenuchi, and then they can't play out a Pulsemon from trash, and so they lose all that. But they do have other level 6s they can use. They just got another one printed as part of the DNA combo.
Yeah, it's
I
a
just
Seekers one.
really
It's
wish.
okay, but
Yeah,
it's not this one. This is obviously just the better version.
yeah, this is just a better one. Like the deck's not going to be a tier 1 deck because its consistency is definitely hurt, but it's not a
It's
dead
not
deck
dead. Yeah, it's not
entirely. I
dead.
really
It's
wish
just
they'd hit the level 7 instead.
I think
Like
the
I
issue
wish
is
that.
with the level 7 is if you hit the level 7 for this version of the deck, excuse me, which is technically the version of 14 and 17, you're taking away the aggro version, so you have to play the control version. And I think they already realised that the control version is just not as good, like in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but
It
they
needs
can
its next
still.
support. I think once its next support comes out, they can probably hit the level 7. But with what they've got currently, it's just not a deck.
I don't know. I
Because it
think
can't really
like
use the
the
old stuff.
other level 7 ace is still incredibly good.
It's good, but it's not the same kind of good. Like I said, it's the control version. Like
Like
it's really
it's a
good at just like
different play
keeping
style,
your
but
yeah,
the deck as a whole is still a functional deck.
yeah. It's just you need another Seekers bits. Like you need another rookie. You need another level 4, and then
Honestly,
maybe
I
another
still
level
think it would
6.
have been fine. I think it'd be fine without the secret rare, but yeah, the deck's not going to be a top contender deck anymore. I just wish they had hit the other side of it. That's all.
Yeah, so I'm okay with. I think the deck needs some restrictions, and I'm okay with this being restricted.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go with the Balmon because Balmon being here wouldn't really affect the deck that much.
No, they do have the other one still, and this is just a
Yeah,
case of like pick your poison. We picked the level
yeah.
6. It's like
Like
it's fine.
imagine hitting a deck and just hitting the weakest card that is like the least important factor of it. They would never do that, right?
No, no. Anyway, we're coming up later. So this is really weird. The next card, I'm gonna let you introduce it, but I will say it's really weird compared to what we saw at Worlds, which is why this is like huh? But we understand why. So
Yeah.
if you'd be willing to say what card number 5 is on this new restricted list.
Yep. So the next card they hit was Kazuhamon, which I'm quickly trying to bring up so that I can read its text verbatim.
Yeah,
But
we're
I
both looking at the actual list they sent us, which is obviously just like the big cutout list. It's like the card text size is like -4.
yes, the cards are very small. So I'm trying to bring it up, but I can't spell the damn card name right.
Just put
So
KUZ
I
in.
KUZU.
Yeah, there you go, should be fine.
Ah, sorry, it's thank you. But yes, they hit the EX for Kazuhamon. Now, obviously, they've hit this because there was the loop deck that was going around. You would repeatedly play out the Town 1 Ace, which would then be able to Digivolve by playing an option cards, and then you go into another Kazuha, and then you could play out Tamon, and then you could Digivolve again for free. And then what you do from there is up to you, whether you want to go into level 7 Ruin mode or just be aggressive, anything like that. It was. Loop decks are always very obnoxious to play into. And like everyone who's faced one is like, oh, you are just doing your entire deck. Okay, that feels great. Like we've all been there, and
Yeah.
when we
And
faced
any
it,
card game, there's always 1 or 2 loop decks, and it's just yeah.
yeah. Like I don't know how consistent the deck was, but this definitely kind of just gutters it because Kazoo has gone, which is one of the big cards that was making it playable.
It was the pivot point, yeah. So basically having it as a
Like,
one of, even if you find that you find that one of, it
yeah,
doesn't make the deck loop anymore, or not so much.
yeah.
So
Like you can do it a second time, I guess, but there's a big difference between having a full board of your level 5s and 6s and then maybe 7s versus having 2. So there's still ways you can play it. Like you can play what's the name of the start deck card that plays a thing from your sources? Breath is the name of the
Coty,
um
Wolfglobe,
Kaisernail.
no,
Kaisernail.
that's it.
Yeah. So like you can still sort of do it with that, but it's nowhere near as consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've hit the consistency, and like I don't know how bad the deck's going to be. I never faced it personally. I never tried it
So
myself.
that version of the deck is roughly dead.
Yeah, that version is
Like
definitely
they've killed
dead.
that version of the deck.
I was more leaning to I don't know how consistent it actually was because I never played against it.
It's one of those where it's kind of like Mirage. It's one of those decks where you either high roll constantly and just absolutely mop the floor with everyone, or you go, "Where's my pieces?"
Yeah.
It's just one of those decks. But
So
it's one of those decks that once it high rolled, you just weren't going to win afterwards. Your
yeah,
opponent
it's the
just had
similar
it.
reason to why they hit the Zubamon, or they did the pairs ban with Zubamon and the Tamer. It wasn't that it could do it every single time. It was just that when you did do it, you kind of just watched them
Just
play their deck
infinitely
and you
loops
could do
your
anything
opponent.
about
Yeah,
it.
just know what you were going to do about it. The Sakuyamon deck though itself is still 100% fine. It's still in a good position. It's not. You didn't really lose anything by losing
Oh
Kazuna
yeah,
because
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
care so much for it. But the
yeah. Like
loop version
I'm
just
fine with
lost it.
it. I didn't have much knowledge on how it works, but I'm fine with it. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
for that
not
variant
much
of the
else.
deck, which was obviously the wrong version of to play the deck, that got hit, and that's basically dead now. So they're happy
Yeah,
that they've basically walked you into the room, put a bag over your head, and shut you in the back, and be like, "That's it, done." Loop deck doesn't exist anymore. No one can play about the loop deck. Now it's just playing pure memory game option card spam. That's what you wanted,
yeah.
right, everyone? That's exactly what you asked for, right? You wasn't? Go fuck yourself. That's what you're getting.
I-
So yeah,
yeah.
but if you watch Worlds, that deck was actually pretty good. It only has 10 option
Yeah.
cards that say gamey memory.
Only a few.
So the next 2 cards I'm going to do as a joint one, and I'm going to shout out Risu again because he's really upset about why Lobamon was hit. And I agree with why he's upset, but the reason I gave before they gave their own statement was the reason they chose. So, Promo Goonimon from BT4 and Promo Lobamon from BT4 have now been reduced to one-off copies because it's not the right deck we want you to play right now.
Yeah, it's
That was
essentially
their
what they
wording.
said.
We don't like
Yeah.
you playing the ancient decks anymore. We want you to go buy the other cards and play those versions. Except those versions are absolute garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I like Herd Hybrid outside of it, but yeah, the promo Goonimon especially has been causing a very big power spike in Red Hybrids because you have the 5-cost Tamer, you can slot it underneath, and then you get to the end of turn, you can attack, and then you use the Digivolution effect of a newer Goonimon to go into an ancient, and then you're reducing it even further. You essentially pay 0 to go into it, and it stays on the board. Like I get why the Goonie was hit, and I think pairing Lobo with it is also fine. I don't think that version's. I don't think the promo Lobo is being used as much.
So the issue we compared to Lobamon is the red base has like a really good rookie lineup that you can still use, whereas the blue base
Yeah,
suffers in comparison.
yeah, that's true. Blue does not have as
So
good.
so you are really stuck with basically red just got the access to having the good rookies with all the extra support they've had, and so it's a case of like, oh well, I've got my searchers, I've got my throw one away, gain two, I've got my piercing, I've got I think I've got two piercers now, got the other searcher, whereas blue's like we got a searcher.
Yeah, I mean that's true. There is a big difference between them. It's funny that both decks have been meta at different points, though.
Yeah, just because their tamers, in my opinion, were better at the time than our tamers.
Yeah,
But then obviously Reds had so much support in comparison. It's just
yeah,
we
it
made
got
sure it was
enough.
good.
So,
The reason I went with Risu is the fact they just basically went like sod it. We had issues with one. If we make support for blue in the future, we don't want to have the same issue again.
yeah, and it's not
Which
like they're entirely gone. They're still limited, which
yeah, which I know
more
Risu didn't
relevant
like
to.
that answer. It's just a case of like, look, that's how Bandai works. You know, that's how Bandai works. So basically saying like, look, we're gonna make this rod for our back now, so it's not a rod later down the line.
Yeah,
I do say, and I find that if we had better rookies for the blue line, that I think the blue version would actually be better because you have non-interactable security removal.
uh, I suppose yeah,
Because
the
the agent just
ancient.
goes, when Digivolving or on play, remove the security.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think a lot of
I
people
could
forget
see
that.
them existing again in a way where they just don't have the inheritable. It reduces the Digivolution cost.
Maybe.
Like if they had inheritable, it's just like gain 2k or something. I
Well,
could see them being
I say
okay. It's the
technically,
combination of both
the
that pushes them over, in my
BT
opinion.
17 versions are basically the same, right? Obviously, you're paying the cost still, but they
Uh,
walk from the level 4 to the 6, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they're in brackets worse versions, but they still do the same thing. You are still having 5 of these in your deck,
Yeah,
but
yeah, and
Bandai says no, too naughty. Buy new product. Make sure that Ancient Greymon and Magna Guru is the better version. Then how about your Princess decks where they're actually good, and then we'll do that.
yeah.
Although the new stuff looks good for Red Hybrid, so I'll give them that one.
Yeah, the red hybrid improvement looks there.
Looks good for
There is no
Three.
blue hybrid stuff,
No,
unfortunately.
no, that's when we get BT29, which the was it Duagonists set, the secondary guys. So Matt set, the other Matt.
Are they doing that?
No, but they should do.
Oh,
I
that'd
think
be
I think
cool.
they should do because they do need to look at like the secondary main characters and
Yeah,
actually
they
give
did
them
that
some
for.
support.
Yeah, they sort of did that for BT 15 and 14. It wasn't like quite that, but they had like half of the bench lineup in BT 14 and the other half in BT 15, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's the two groups, wasn't it? It was the group that went like with Ty and the group that went with Matt, kind of thing.
Yeah, basically.
Which I think was a good idea, but then they just didn't do it for any other set. So it's like, what about the rest of the casts?
Yeah.
Where's my JP support? God damn it! Don't put me in black again. God damn, give me some green JP.
No, they're going to put in purple next time.
You know what? If he does trashing and stuff, I'll be okay with that. Make purple great again. And then I'm going to let you introduce the last card, which High Judge T.O. Mr. Red Scar is also in arms about this one. And which
Yeah,
card is this, Mr. Replay?
it is the ST9 Stingmon. Is an attempt to hit blue green Imperial. Which
And a quote from the man himself: "Why have you hit the Stingmon that nobody plays?" Question
yeah,
mark.
I've heard it's used more in Japan
It's the
lineups.
Japan. So yeah, Japan for some reason has like we must draw cards, but we don't want to gain memory. It's like fine, whatever.
Yeah,
Whereas
like
over here, it's like, no, we print memory like it's going
yeah,
out of fashion.
the reasoning is consistency, and it does make sense. Like get it like that same one in the deck can represent up to 3 attacks a turn because if you do the DNA, you go into the the level 5 Pyeldramon,
Hmm.
who attacks twice. You get your well, no, he attacks once. You get your draw. You can then digivolve him if you have the memory to then attack and then unspend once more and get another one. So it can represent 3 draws potentially.
Yeah.
But like, as if you're gonna hit the deck, it's like either of the Simon was the worst hits they could have done for the deck.
See, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, like, if you're going to hit the deck, hit the BT12 cards because, within reason, they're the issue. They're the ones that are printing you, like, 2 memory return. The amount of times that you'll start, like, 1 memory and all of a sudden you'll be in another Imperial, sorry, in another Paildramon, swinging again. You've already done 4 checks this turn. You've only been on this turn for 4 seconds. Oh
Yeah,
no, you
I
died to
personally
partition.
really
We'll
want
do it
to hit
again.
Daiken. I can't remember if we filmed a video or not on or recorded a video or not on Daiken, but yeah, that was the card
Yeah,
I really wanted
Daikin
to
was
hit.
a few episodes
Like
back.
Daiken has the issue that a lot of well, Daiken's an issue a lot of other decks have, where if you are facing Imperial blue green and they don't have Daiken, it's such a different and easier matchup to when they have it. Like
Yeah,
that one option card or not option, one tamer card is such a swing in how strong that deck is. Like it's definitely the thing that's holding it up.
but as we said, or I said in that video, because they can't physically play a Ken Davis for free currently, that is the only saving grace for that deck, or any deck with those cards in. The second
Yeah,
we
but if
get a
they just
Stingmon
play
or
it
a
turn one,
that's it.
it's
But the
like
second we get a Stingmon or a XVmon or a Magnamon that goes, hey, play a Davis for free, or play a Ken for free, that's when you go, no, that card needs to be looked at.
yeah, I really want that particular tamer to be hit still. Because even if they hit the XVmon, like you can still get jamming by just using EX1 Vmon. Yes, you don't gain the memory, but
It's still
EX1 Vmon
jamming.
has jamming itself,
Yeah, that's what I was said to
so
people. I was
you
like,
could
why don't we
just
play that as our
swing and get a
secondary?
jamming hit, then DNA.
Yeah, the amount of people who are like, oh no, it's a really bad Digimon. It's like it has jamming on itself. It will gain a draw from the baby inherited. It will gain a draw possibly from one of the other Vmons, where I think it's like less than 7 cards in hand. And then you just
Yeah, like,
digivolve a DNA digivolve up into Peldra and get jamming anyway. So you're just swinging for the fun of it. And everyone's like, no, it's a
yeah.
bad card. It's a really bad card. So okay,
Like the stack would you would still expect the stat to have jamming every single time
yeah.
if they had hit the BT12. Like it, the other thing they could do is they could just kill the deck and have limited like one of the Pyeldramon, but then the
Also,
deck is just gone
the
entirely.
really funny thing about this limit as well means that if your store only has the latest trial deck for your new members to practice with, it's an illegal deck.
How true because they've
Because
limited.
Sting Money is the only green level 4 in that deck, so you can't play any of the cards now. You just can't play
If
the
they
deck.
have any left from last year.
That's it.
Well,
So,
no, not even that. It was 2 years ago now, wasn't it?
no,
Well,
it was
year and a half.
last. Was it a year and a half? It was last.
Oh, Ukamon was
It
available
was a year and a
one
half
week.
ago, yeah. But I think that's the
Yeah.
latest trial deck as well.
No, they did the Renamon and Gilmon ones.
Oh, there you go. That's why they did them now. There you go. That's how we knew. There you go.
But
That's
yeah,
why I was
like
like, we're gonna do this now.
they've ticked the box of we've hit the deck, but they kind of missed the box when they did it. They
It,
like went to tick it, but it's like just off the edge. Like the line kind of goes over the corner of it.
it's where you just pat yourself on the back for a great job, team. It's like we didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then like there's obviously other decks people wanted to hit that haven't been, but we've had 8 cards hit at least, which is
We've
like most of
had
our ban lists have
one
been
limit.
6.
Sorry, we had one ban, 8 limits, and then a bear panic. So
Yeah, which is a lot more than we normally get.
it was
Like,
really good. So I'm happy with the size of it. I think 10 cards is probably what we need to be looking at.
yeah,
But what cards didn't they hit that you want to see? I know you're gonna say Analog Man, Analog You Forever, because you fucking hate that card.
I really want that card to be hit. It's such a like it would bring purple as a whole down a lot.
Oh,
And
purple, the bane of my existence.
but yeah, youth is still a very overtuned card. That's a card that I really want to see hit personally. And I'm playing Ghostmon at the moment and loving it, but
Great
like
deck.
youth,
Fun
like the
deck.
games where I get youth and I don't, it's just such a big swing.
So, was there any other cards other than Poor Youth just getting a whack on the back of the head?
Uh, I mean, I would have liked to see some newer, like red purple imperial hit, but the deck's new. I wasn't expecting that.
Man,
To be
I hate
hit.
when my brand new cards are strong. Can you ban them already, please?
It's
No!
been 2 weeks. It's too long.
I only had
Yeah,
a chance to play the deck yet. Give me a chance.
yeah. I would have liked like the dog engine to be hit in some way. Whether that be they just limit protoform or they limit like the level 5.
I think if we ever get strong protoform, we might get looking at the other protoform, the protoform getting hit.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's a few, like they've in general hit a lot of stuff. They've just not hit everything, and the stuff that wasn't hit is going to feel a lot more prominent because of it.
I'm super surprised they didn't touch either biting Crush or Leviah. To be fair, we know why they didn't hit Leviah because it's in the big boy set. Oh, £200. Do you want to get this shiny black gold Leviathan?
I don't know what's. I don't even look at that as like a reprint thing. That's just a collector's
It's not a
piece
reprint
as
thing.
far
It's
as I'm
obviously you
concerned.
just want to go buy something for £200 and be like, oh yeah, one card in there is already limited. So good thing I only brought
Yeah.
one.
Like it's it's a really cool looking set, but it's clearly just a collector's thing. It's not meant to be a
It's for the
proper
whale.
reprint
It's
of
for the
anything.
whales.
It is.
It's for our good friend Tamers.
Yep.
Tamers, did you buy how many boxes did you buy? What 12? Bought 4 free play sets of everything.
Like they're
Okay.
very nice looking cards, but like
Yeah.
they're nice looking cards, but then there's artworks that are nice to play with, and then there's artworks that are nice to look at.
They're
And
very
they're definitely better
edgelord.
to look at.
So
Yeah.
especially that Hexamon. That Hexamon's just like big swords, like stabbing down motion.
Yeah, they're definitely more look at these cards than play these cards
Mm.
type of artworks.
Yeah, nice. And then the other complaint is, why is it BT5 again?
Oh yeah, they went back to BT5. I didn't mind. I don't really mind what cards they put in there. They were clearly just looking for a nice selection of
They
Digimon to
were,
put in.
which they have. I think there's a good
Yeah.
12 different cards, very different eras of the card game, as well as different styles of play. So I'm happy to see that. That's beautiful. Sleeves are beautiful.
Yeah.
So I look forward to trying to figure out if I can get one of those from somebody in the UK.
I'm sure that some stores will get them in UK and then not be able to sell them because there's like 4 people who want to pay £200 for it. I guess we might get it a little bit cheaper than that.
We normally pay
'Cause we can
more
get
because they give whatever their price is, then convert into pounds, and then they just put like postage on top as well.
normally our RP is about the same as what America paid in dollars, but then because we can do retail, we can get like a little bit of a discount. So it might be we can get it for like 180.
We'll see what Asmodee's feeling like when it comes to December. Here's your Christmas present.
It's very far away to December as well. Like
Don't
9
get me
months
wrong.
is pretty
I
long.
like seeing the fact they're going like, this is what we're looking to bring you guys this year. Here's some nice in brackets reprints. Here's some nice artworks. Here's some nice special sets. But I don't want to wait
Yeah,
9 months to get these reprints or whatever.
like if they do one big premium thing a year, I'm actually pretty okay with it. Like
But don't put it in December. Tell me about it in February,
Yeah.
and then give me by July.
yeah, it's like the distance off it is very strange. Like it's clearly they're aiming for Christmas market for some reason.
Yeah,
But,
it's a bit later,
well,
December.
no,
You want it
that-
like October, November.
I say Christmas market. It's for people to get in Christmas. So in Europe and Australia and all that, it'll
January.
be Christmas. It'll be fine.
It'll be January. Because it comes out in December
we
in
normally get
America.
it.
We'll get it in January.
I guess we normally get it about the same month it's supposed
So
to arrive.
now we
but
have
because
to-
it is,
We have to get
Yeah.
our points to go play at finals. We have to hope that our shiny stuff comes before we go to finals. There you go.
goddamn, we'll need. Hopefully, they do some online events soon, so we can actually do some of them.
Maybe. Is there any other cards you like hitting besides Daiken, Analog Youth? Is there any other Tamers that you hate that you want to get banned? Maybe some Digimon Emperor?
All the tamers, just get rid of all the children. Every single tamer in the game.
You've heard this. Genocide for children. What did the ban list not do to us? It didn't genocide more children. That got genocided. It's fine.
Yeah. All tamer cards are banned. We now only have Digimon options.
Did you gain memory? Yeah, that's what
And
you
also specifically level 4 Digimon are also banned.
think. What kind of game is this? Everything is an ace. Well, so are you happy with those then? Is this a good list for you? I feel like they've hit some problem
Yeah, they've
decks.
hit a nice variety.
I feel like they've
a
hit some
lot,
decks
a
I
lot of
didn't
the stuff
like.
they've hit makes sense for what they've hit. I might have done it a different way myself.
Yeah, I
but-
think the Stingmon is the weirdest one here.
Yeah, like the Stingmon was clearly like we want to say we've hit the deck, but
Yeah.
without actually hitting it.
We want to hit the Japanese version, which is the worst version. So, good job, guys. Glad you're here.
Yeah, well,
the
all ban lists have
Lobomon
been based on Japanese.
is obviously
now.
weird, but it makes sense because, like, look, we're limiting the Agunimon because you're playing it in a way we don't like. The Lobomon technically does the same thing, so these two cards have been limited for that reason. Kazooie is basically stop playing this version of the deck we don't like you
Don't
playing.
play the loot deck.
Yeah,
Stop.
don't play the loot version, play an actual deck, please, thank God. So we're going to limit this to one. Fenrir, it's just we've heard a lot of people complaining about this, and we understand that because it's a weird mechanic, we can understand that it is very annoying to play against, so we're going to try and make it less obnoxious.
I have
Mirage,
thought of one other thing I wanted to be done.
Mirage needs to go to fucking the back of the well and get shot in the head like Old Yeller, but one is fine, I suppose. And then Jack Raid and Blinding Raid to follow up with Hammer Spark. So what's the other card then?
Hidden Potential Scarlet still isn't banned.
No! God, leave it alone. It's not doing anything. if green was the most dominant color, I'd 100% agree with you and be like, yes, ban that card. It's too obnoxious. But even in the green decks that are playing, don't play that card.
Why would you not play it? Just turn your Digivolution into a level 6 into a 0 cost, maybe 1 if you're playing something really scary.
It's just because the ability not to swing, I think, at this point in the game is getting so like it's attacks on its own that doing that is just like
Half
self.
the green cards aren't to spend themselves on anyway.
Go on, which ones?
Damn it, don't call me out like that.
See, they don't. The green is such a weird color that that card is actually okay because the color itself is just trash, and I love green.
I've searched up unsuspend on card dev.
Except
You wait.
except Examon. Examon's now broken. Maybe you're right. Maybe we need to get rid of that.
True, that X on X is looking very strong.
So there you go. That's how you know this thing. That's how we date ourselves every single time. We always mention a card that came out on the day. Examon X just dropped, and it's like, all right, pop those children.
I like the direction they're going with the level 7 top ends because they know they have to compete with the Ace Digimon that leads something at level 7.
Yeah.
They're like printing really good level 7s to justify you doing it. I actually like the approach they're going with it.
Yeah, it's like these aces, little good, so we're gonna make you one that can pop a tamer too. Although it's Examon, so you got to get to Examon as well, and then it's gonna cost you 2
Yep, or you can just Digivolve it off any level 6
for
that's
6.
in green, red, or blue.
How expensive do you like your Magnum X deck? Very expensive. I want to go.
If you're Digivolving a green Digimon, you can make it cost 1. Actually, can you?
That's what I said. Yeah, because it's that's the only deck I can see actually being played in. So
Yeah,
you
its hidden
can.
potential is just when next time of your green Digimon Digivolves. So the fun little mechanic of hidden potential where you can actually Digivolve into non-green Digimon with it.
Yeah, you just have to be green yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can go break Shramon into like Exa level X. Give it to you.
So, but yeah, I like the approach they're doing. It's a shame that like red and blue have been the color twice, but and then and then on the X was into white, so I guess it is just red and blue, and then red, blue, and green.
Yeah, it's
But
blue.
like, I like the approach.
Yeah, 3 blue, 1 green, 2 purple, 2 yellow technically.
Oh, what's that for?
The colours that was hit today. Well, no, sorry. 3
Oh,
three
for
purple.
colors that were hit.
Yeah, 3 purple.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Silly Matt. Shouldn't have been too good. That was never good before now.
Yeah, so the mat I think is fine at 4 if purple hybrid's not a deck. Like, it's a very specific deck that causes that to happen. I guess another type of deck that doesn't exist but could do is if there was a deck designed to specifically delete its own tamers.
There is one of those.
That's not.
It's just a bad deck.
No, probably deletes its own tamers.
It's Venomotusmon?
Oh yeah, but that's like a specific tamer itself. I mean, like one where it's like, oh yeah, delete a tamer to play a level 4 lower kind of thing.
Belphamon, I think, also does the same thing.
Doesn't that delete its eggs?
No, delete. I think. Well.
Oh no, it has the level 3 dude. Yeah.
Yeah, the level 3 pops the eggs, and then I think Belfa or level 5 pops the tamers.
Yeah, I was more just thinking like a deck where it's like you just want a lot of tamers, you play a lot of tamers out with effects.
I have 12 tamers. None of them.
Yeah, but then you delete a tamer to like play a Digimon, and then I was thinking more along that line. Not like there is a tamer that is designed to work with this one specific card.
It's also a bad deck, so don't worry about it. But we're going to get support for it soon, so it's fine.
Yeah, I've lost Belfry Seat Mode a lot of times. That card catches me off so often.
I always love fighting against it. It's one of those decks where you just go like, oh yeah, I know what this deck does, I'm fine, and then you still lose to it.
Yeah.
It's actually winning this deck. What's going on?
And end attack is a good mechanic.
It is a good mechanic. So I think we're in agreement. Ban list, for the most part, makes sense, even if some of the choices are a bit weird.
Yeah.
Happy with it actually having our second ban card. It only took another 3 years.
Yeah. No, I'm happy.
So we did pretty well
happy.
there.
I'm not happy that it's only the second one, but yep, here we are.
Yeah, well, so we're getting there. So yeah, good job, Bandai. Approved, I think, by most of the community.
I think so. Apart from people playing those decks, they're very upset.
I think even people playing like Fenrir or even like, yeah, I understand why it's a very good card.
Yeah.
Obviously, people who are playing Talmud are like, no, I just spent all this money on the high rarity versions. It's like, man, it sucks to be you.
Yeah.
If you know a deck's degenerate, they will hit it eventually.
True.
The Agunimon and the Lobomon is funny because for whatever reason, I only have 3 of each of those promos, and I should have 4 because I can't find the other. So I should have 1 foil, 1 non-foil Lobomon, and I should have 2 alt arts from the Tamer box.
The Tame box, I think, was one of the ones that only came with 1.
Came with 2. It was the first one that came with 2.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
can
even
only
then, it was
I can only find one of each, so one of them's gone walking for both of those. But I know
yeah,
I know it has
we
two
printed
because I
those
have
a couple of
two
times.
of every other alternate art from that set.
Right. But yeah, that was funny because they had like their original release in like the Legend pack where you got one foil and one non-foil card a pack.
Yeah,
And then they were in the first revision pack, they were in the second revision pack, they were in that promo box. They've had a lot of
they've had a lot of
printings.
reprints. So it's like, all right, where's my stuff? Where have they gone? So I was looking at a Goonimon. It's like, all right, they're 10 quid now. I don't want to bite the bullet, but I might have to. And then the list came out. I was like, awesome, I don't have to bite the bullet anymore. And now I
They've
have
been
free play
printed a
sets.
lot. Well, they've been printed a lot to be
Mm.
£10 at the time. Jesus.
Yeah, the original two are like 6 and 7. I think the alt art's like 10. I'm not too sure about the
Oh, I see
reprints.
for the old art.
Yeah,
Because
on pretty
yeah, because the
ones.
revision pack should be dirt cheap. Because in the first revision pack, you guaranteed them. And then the other one, you had like a 1 in 4 chance of getting them.
Was it 1 in 4,
But
1 in
you also
3?
got it with like 14 other cards or something.
Yeah, they were good packs to be fair. I wish they give them out more often so that way it's like, hey, here's the cards that we may or may not have effed up. Also, all your foils now uncommons. There you go.
Oh yeah, just making non-foil copies, forever confusing people. When it's like, who new to the game? It's like, why is my card not foil when it should be? Oh yeah, this specific
My
release.
favourite is the Machine Dramon.
Oh, the non-foil
Why
machine
is your
Dramon.
Machine Dramon non-foil?
The Imperial Dramon secret rare that was Chase, but not Chase in English, and they
Your
had to
Gen.
reprint it. They screwed it up so much.
Good old Gen Imperial one.
Geen.
Geen. So, besides having a lot of fun here, I think that's this episode done with. It's a nice long episode. Actually, podcast length for a change. So, I think we're going to be
Really?
done for this one. I think we both in agreement it's a good list. Maybe some cards should be hit. Leave Analog Youth alone, goddammit, please.
No, ban
We're
him.
getting reprints.
So, ban the
But,
reprint too.
oh, God. So, yeah, thank you for being here. This was fun. That we actually had a nice conversation about cards that we basically agree on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good cards. Good ban list.
Next time will be confrontational. We'll disagree on things.
I mean,
I promise.
well, you get to pick the next Digimon, so we're going to see what the next episode's going to say. So, right,
Is
see
that
you
not
guys
due for Digimon?
soon. Well, it could be anything. It could be an option card, it could be Digimon, it could be a baby, it could be a Tamer again. Well, they're not Shoto because we don't know how Shoto feels. So we'll leave that one alone for a while. Shoto needs
Ban
an
Shoto.
errata. That's the
He
episode.
does.
Shoto needs an errata. Right, then, so peace out, Tamers. Catch you guys soon, and mwah! Love you all.
Bye bye.